Hey guys, Sublord here, back again with another action figure review. Today I am very excited to be taking a look at the Batman reanimated series, Target exclusive. Oh, jeez. Although they did have a couple of these, so I guess not so OJ's'em, but OJ's'em enough. Today we're going to be taking a look at good old Combat Belt Batman from the collect-to-build Jonah Hex from the episode Showdown wave, brought to us by the fine folks over at DC Direct and or McFarlane Toys. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, did I wish I had this guy a few days ago, because we just took a look at the Grey Ghost, Ra's al Ghul, and Killer Croc from this wave because I needed content for this channel. It don't make itself, folks. It's a little difficult to keep up nowadays, if you haven't noticed, with the price of things and the amount of things still coming out, despite all the BS they tell us. But I did those, put them up, and literally the day Killer Croc was uploaded, good old Mr. Brian walked into our local Target and found two of these. Ain't that just a bitch? So doing things a little bit unorthodox, at least for me. I tend to review waves as sets, if I can, that is. I know the Lockdown wave, we didn't necessarily do that. We reviewed the Batman with the Bat Cycle, and then we reviewed the other ones way later, because that's actually when I got them, was way later. But that was fine, because it was wrapping up the wave. I wasn't sure if I was going to get any more from that wave at the time I did the Batman with the Bat Cycle, but lo and behold, I frickin' did, because of course I did. But with all that being said, we have Combat Belt Batman. We also have a completed Jonah Hex, we'll be taking a look at later today, so please come back and stay tuned for that one. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Combat Belt Man has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with the collectible trading card. Whoop-de-doo. If it's upside down, there you go. I don't think it is, though. Bio on the back. It's all fine and dandy. Now, he comes with some alt hands, but he comes with some good alt hands. He comes with the alt hands I need for the Batman on the motorcycle, and let's just say I'm jumping with joy that I don't have to dig up my old Batman's hands for that figure. I can just swap these on later, and he'll be good to go. He's got trigger fingers at the moment, which are fine, but they're not what that figure needs. These are a much wider grip. They'll be able to hold on to that bike a little better. That said, we also have these Batarang holding hands for, of course, the rather oversized Batarang. Should have some schmutz on it that I had to clean off. But I guess this slips in this way. And it's not very tight. You can knock it out pretty easily. So I wish this was just sculpted in the hand, like the grapple gun, which is clever. Very clever. This is obviously just recasted with a yellow grapple. That's why they call it Combat Belt Batman, is the yellow accessories. He doesn't actually have the clip-on belt and the missiles and everything. But we also have a separate grapple if that's something you're interested in. But there you go. Pretty cool, I guess. It's a standard Batman for this line, though, and one that is a hodgepodge of Batmans, because he has the upper body. Taking a closer look at him. He has the upper body of, like, just the standard Batman, with no ab crunch, not even the glove twist. But then he has the lower body of the Batman I looked at with the Bat Cycle, where it's got the boot cuts, the double knees, and the thigh twist, because these are ball socket hip joints. Very interesting, because McFarlane is notorious for not kit-bashing figures. But this is literally half of one figure, half of another. And I have to say, out of all the Batmans I have, like this, probably the best one? I'm not sure. I don't know if the colors are 100% show accurate. I don't think the cape is. I think if you swapped the cape out for one that had the blue on the inside, you'd be a little better. But this is the nicest material they've had for the cape. It's possibly spandex. I don't know. Spandex, I don't know what you call it. But as far as his articulation goes, his head will rotate side to side. He does have a little bit of tilt, a little bit of up and down. Nothing really. The collar piece kind of floats. I might need to see if I can't heat this up and see if I can push it down a little more, because it does sit on his neck a little funny. It doesn't sit flush like it should. He does have the disc hinge shoulders. There you go. They go out about this far. They don't go out anymore, unfortunately, even if you move the arm around. Well, actually, that one does. So if you could finesse it, probably heat up the torso, you'll probably get it to work. Single jointed elbow with rotation. Again, no glove twist, which is interesting. But he does have the swivel hinge wrists, which are easy enough to pop out. And like Killer Croc, who I had to heat up to make his hands swappable, I didn't have to do that on this guy. He's got just a waist twist, nothing outside of that. But then from the waist down, we get the more articulated body that has the T-jointed hips that will kick out. No nuggets there. They'll kick forward and back. He does have a little thigh cut in there. Just a little, because it's a ball peg. He's got the double knee, which works okay. As well as a boot twist. Now, the boot twist on him, it's a little gummy. Just a tiny bit. In fact, on this side, it's probably a little gummier because it's tighter. This side's not as tight. But you could see it does have a little flex when you twist it, but it does not feel like super fragile like the Poison Ivy did. The same Poison Ivy that broke on yours truly. So I'm not too worried about that, but be wary, it is a little gummy, and I did have to crack these loose. Like, you could see it. It's a little gummy. Just a smidge. Probably about as gummy as the, maybe not even, but that Spirit Spider Marvel Legends I looked at. But he does also have a hinge in the foot with a rocker, and I think he's going to peg on one of his feet. I will tell you, though, that the boots do kind of wiggle when you move the feet, so be wary of that. But very, very cool. Very, very cool figure. Again, I think he's probably the most solid of the Batmans. Whether his colors are show accurate or not, I'm not sure. If I can get this collar down a little more on the neck, I think we'll be off to the races. That said, I think it would only take a little teeny bit of dremeling to get that to sit a little further down. Maybe there's just something blocking it on the bottom. I'd have to heat it up and pop it off and take a closer look at that. But that's another story for another day. That said, my dad did actually see the platinum chase of this guy, the Night Star Batman. I think he can do with his cape. You can actually pull it over his shoulders, kind of, sort of. It's a little awkward, but it does work. But my dad did see the Night Star Batman chase, which is cool, but I just wanted the regular one. Especially knowing how good this figure is now, I'm glad I got the regular one, because if I ever get the Batmobile from this line, I'm not going to say I am, but I'm also not going to say I won't either. I think this will probably be the Batman I put inside of it, because he's probably the most capable because of his cape. Get it? Capable? Cape? I'll see myself out. But, you know, I leave the Platinums behind a lot because I'm kind of hoping that the good karma comes back and I can find that gosh darn Marvel Legends Psylocke, but that shit still hasn't happened. Target, with your fucking cock-teasing price tag nonsense. But at any rate, I can keep his cape tucked behind him there. I think it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's a good old combat belt Batman alongside the two figures I wanted to see him alongside the most. We have, of course, the gray Ghost, good old Adam West himself, as well as Killer Croc, who, as usual, towers over everyone. A little premature of me to say that now, but you get the picture. Batman and the Grey Ghost are about the same, and Killer Croc is a little bigger because, he's a bigger character. It makes sense. I can only imagine the Bane from the Bruce Wayne wave is the same, so maybe someday we'll get around to reviewing that, but right now I'm going to have to settle for good old Combat Belt Batman and the finished Jonah Hex collectible figure, might I add. Getting these two out of the way. So we can bring in our two regulars. Mythic Legion's brother Mandibilith. Right there. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who, like Killer Croc, towers over everyone. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and out of all of the Batmans I own and or have reviewed from this Batman the Animated Series line, whether it was from DC Collectibles back in the day or McFarlane Toys / DC Direct nowadays, I'm gonna say that this is probably, quote unquote, the best one. He's got the better leg articulation with, in my opinion, the superior upper body. Granted, he doesn't have the glove twist or the ab crunch, but those didn't really do much anyways. Really, this one benefits from having better hips, better knee joints, and for the most part, the best accessories. He's got hands that I can use with the Batman I have displayed on the Bat Cycle. He's got the grapple hook molded into his hand, so you don't gotta mess around with that. The only real issue I have with this figure is that gosh darn batarang that wants to fall out every 2 seconds. So before that happens again, I think I'm going to wrap this up. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.